Could Ash win a Pokemon League where the Elite Four are formed by his companions from the Pokemon anime? I'm going to give it a shot. Today I'll start a new series of videos on the channel full of amazing Pokemon challenges. Challenges where I play as the most iconic characters from the Pokemon world and face the toughest challenges. This time, I played as Ash Ketchum with a totally random team, generated with a random number generator. The team consists of Kalava, Mook, Palpitoad, Dragonite, Glalie and of course, Pikachu, who I've handpicked because a team without Pikachu isn't an Ash team. I didn't mention the most important thing. This game is set up on RPG Maker to make the challenge much more immersive and allow me to do crazier things for this section. I'm back with full energy and my intention is to publish a video every weekend with a new challenge. The game will be available for download soon and it'll be a project that will slowly advance with the new challenges I make. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. It's also worth mentioning that it was created by my great friend Kimba, who does amazing work. I have a series of rules that I followed to add an extra layer of difficulty to the challenges. The first rule is that every Pokemon must be at level 50 to make the balancing as fair and challenging as possible, while increasing the level of some weaker Pokemon to cover the disadvantage. The second is that the number of Pokemon should be equal to the opponents. Now there's a pre-battle Pokemon selection system, so you don't have to keep changing your Pokemon. The last one is that I'll have one life during the challenge. This life will be consumed upon losing a battle and will allow me to try to win said battle again. However, this is a single life for the entire challenge, not for each separate battle, so I can only lose one battle. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying this content, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also let me know in the comments what challenges you would like to see in upcoming videos. And with that said, let's get to the challenge. In the first battle, I'm up against none other than Serena. I know that the official waifu doesn't have a very good team. She only has 4 Pokemon, so I'm starting easy. That's why I'm kicking things off with the incredible Dragonite. I certainly wasn't going to bring out Palpitoad first. Serena sends out her Delphox, which seems to be her strongest Pokemon. I thought I could resist easily and used a Dragon Dance. Surprise for me when her Delphox almost kills our strongest Pokemon because it had an Ice-type hidden power. Coincidence? I don't think so. Despite this, I managed to defeat it, and not only that, the Dragon Dance allowed me to kill her miserable Pancham with a single Dragon Claw. This was going quite well after all. By the way, Kimba later told me that the Pancham had Ice Beam, so I dodged a bullet there. I'll take this opportunity to tell you that most of the moves both our team and the opponents use are moves that these Pokemon had in the anime, to make it more realistic. Although we have changed some for balancing reasons, I wasn't so lucky when Serena sent out her Sylveon, which had a clear type advantage against me. Dragonite managed to scratch some damage, but Sylveon finished it off. I didn't panic. My Mook was about to turn the tide, and with some pretty gross strategies, in every sense, I poisoned and eventually defeated her Sylveon. Now it had to face a Rhyhorn. I thought Mook was doomed, but today wasn't Serena's day. Her Rhyhorn missed. And not only that, when it managed to hit, it had the misfortune of leaving our Mook at just 1 HP. This nearly dead Rhyhorn was no match for Palpitoad, the undisputed hero of the team. The first battle went as I expected, and now I'm heading into a fight against Dawn. She had 5 Pokemon and I decided to bring out Pikachu first for its speed. Luck was on my side, and she started the battle with Piplup. Our Pikachu sent it to the morgue with a single Thunderbolt. It seemed like I had everything under control until her Mamoswine showed up. I literally didn't have any good Pokemon against it, but I relied on Mook with Toxic to play as dirty as possible. After that, as incredible as it may seem, Palpitoad was the best option, and with surprisingly little effort, it disposed of that Mamoswine. Her next Pokemon was Togekiss. I thought I would easily kill it with Mook because of its fairy type, but that Togekiss surprised me with incredible damage. Not only that, but Dawn withdrew Togekiss and sent out Pachirisu. Mook fell to a pesky rat without barely doing anything. Things were looking bad. My best bet was Palpitoad, and surprisingly, it could handle that Pachirisu. Togekiss reappeared, ending Palpitoad's run, and Pikachu had to step in. Togekiss survived a Thunderbolt from Pikachu with just 1 HP and managed to hit Pikachu, but it wasn't enough. Now, it was time for her last Pokemon, Ambipom, and I confidently tried to land a Thunder but unfortunately missed. That Ambipom ended up defeating Pikachu, but not before I paralyzed it with Static. This battle was won. All that was left was for Glalie to finish off that poor monkey. Next up, Misty. Her first Pokemon is Corsola, but luckily I put Palpitoad in first place. My new favorite Pokemon. It seemed under control until Corsola used Mirror Coat and left my Palpitoad practically doomed. Suddenly Misty changes to Starmie and I knew that was trouble. My Palpitoad died almost without causing any damage. Luckily, Glalie had Crunch that would deal quite a bit of damage before being defeated. Things got complicated, but fortunately, Pikachu was faster and could finish it off before causing more casualties. Her next Pokemon would be Politoed and I did not hesitate. Our Dragonite disposed of it easily and I kept Pikachu to face her best Pokemon, Gyarados. The time comes. I bring out Pikachu and Gyarados manages to sneak in a Hydro Pump. Lucky for me that Pikachu manages to resist and kill it with a Thunderbolt. Only her Togetic was left, which was no problem for my Mook. I overcame the third rival, although this time it wasn't as easy. The fourth fight is upon me and it's none other than May. Her team is no joke as unlike the others. May appeared in a special episode of the anime with practically her entire team evolved. I decided to start with Mook and she sent out her best Pokemon, a beefed up Blaziken. I went back to the strategy of using Toxic to ensure that Blaziken dies and against all odds I managed to almost sentence it. But Aura withdrew it from the field. She brought out Beautifly which gulps down a sludge bomb that fortunately poisons it. Mook dies but does an excellent job. That Beautifly was no match for the Ice Beam from our Glalie. Blaziken returns to the scene and threatens my Dragonite, but only manages to scratch a few hit points before dying. Everything seemed to be going great. May pulls out her worst Pokemon, Skitty, and I thought this was already won but that damn cat with an innocent face used Blizzard and almost defeated our Dragonite. But then Dragonite got frozen. I couldn't believe that Skitty would be able to destroy my best Pokemon. But don't worry guys, Dragonite managed to thaw out in the first turn and destroyed May's Skitty and he avoided being humiliated. However, it didn't last long against her next Pokemon, Venusaur, which with Petal Dance managed to finish off Dragonite. Not only that, but thinking that Glalie could face it, that Venusaur killed it with just one attack. Things started to get complicated. Fortunately, Kalava managed to finish it off. Her next Pokemon would be Glacian and I was screwed with just Kalava and Palpitoad against it. I had a type advantage with Kalava but I knew it was faster and Kalava was a bit hurt. I could lose everything here but I decided to switch to Palpitoad to lower its speed with Mud Shot. Glacian killed our Palpitoad with a critical hit and everything hung in the balance. If that Glacian was still faster it could kill our Kalava with one attack. But the strategy worked and with an eruption, Kalava managed to kill Glacian. I took the fourth victory but by a close call. Last battle. The next rival is undoubtedly the strongest. Being the champion of the Unova Pokemon League and specializing in Dragon type, Iris would undoubtedly be a very difficult rival to beat. Luckily her team was from the Pokemon anime and not from Black and White too. Still, things were very difficult. Resorting to strategy, I started with Mook and planned to poison the Gible that Iris had brought out. At 10 HP, Mook managed to get rid of that Gible although it would no longer be of much help. Her next Pokemon, a damn Haxorus, finished it off without suffering any damage. I was screwed. I didn't have anything that could fight that Haxorus. I brought out Palpitoad to use the previous strategy of lowering its speed and then being able to attack first with Dragonite, but it didn't last a single turn as Haxorus used Outrage. Next was Pikachu, which also died in just one hit, but a light dawned. That Haxorus got paralyzed thanks to Pikachu's ability, and after one more Outrage, it would get confused. Glalie managed to hit it with an Ice Beam, though it resisted and also ended up in the pit due to its last Outrage. Now Haxorus was confused and paralyzed but I only had one Pokemon, Dragonite. Against Haxorus and 3 other Pokemon. It was done. I was gonna lose. I had to resort to a risky strategy. Use Dragon Dance to increase the attack and speed and be able to sweep the entire team. That Haxorus had to get confused or paralyzed. It was my only chance. And so it was. I managed to kill Haxorus and Dragonite was faster than any of her Pokemon. Out came Amalga and I managed to take advantage of this to use another Dragon Dance and annihilate that poor Amalga. My Dragonite was now a killing machine. Iris brought out Excadrill and it resisted Dragon Claw too well. To top it off, it started using Horn Drill. That move always kills in one hit. With all the luck in the world it missed twice and I managed to defeat it. Her next Pokemon would be Dragonite but ours had the attack and speed doubled. That Dragonite didn't last even one Dragon Claw from mine, and so I finished the challenge. Officially, with a lot of luck, Ash can beat all the rivals from the Pokemon anime. This challenge has been one of the most intense I've had, and yet, spoiler alert, the next challenge was even more difficult. Yes, I did a second challenge and I'll upload the video next week. With that said, all that remains is to remind you that your like and subscription helps a lot to keep me growing. And you have a date next week with me in my next video. Let me know in the comments what Pokemon challenge you want me to face. And with that being said, on screen you have more Pokemon videos that I know you'll like. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.